and welcome back to the Tim Foster YouTube channel, and today you find me in the British countryside in a mirrored house, and we're going to be talking all things Defender. So I've had my car for just over 3 years now, so I thought I'd do a little bit of an update. Also recently it's failed its MOT and passed again, and I'm starting the process of really transforming my Defender into what I wish it to be. So we're going to go through all those things in this video, but first let's have a quick look around this mirrored house. As I've just briefly mentioned, we are staying in the Cotswolds in these mirrored houses, which are really, really cool. We're a little weekend getaway in the middle of the woods. And then also it has this kind of bath outdoor space through here, which is really, really cool. Just sat here looking at the amazing forest. So just as I'm starting to film with the Defender here behind me, it starts absolutely tipping it down. Okay, so as many of you might know, some of you might not know, I've had this car for 3 years now. I bought it from a garage in Blackpool, England, and I searched for the car that I wanted for a really long time, so I didn't rush into this. I wanted a Corus Grey, I wanted the sawtooth wheels, I wanted the XS so it had air conditioning, heated seats, you know, a bit more of the creature comforts. And this car originally, actually, as well, had a snorkel on it, which I've since taken off because I prefer this kind of cleaner look. Now, when I got the car as well, because it had the snorkel, it didn't have this kind of like side vent, which I really, really like here, or the vents on top. So I've done a few modifications as soon as I got it. But as soon as I got the car, I actually drove it all the way from Manchester, England to Stockholm, Sweden, because that's where I was living at the time. I did it over a kind of 3 days. So I went from Manchester to London, London to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to Copenhagen, and Copenhagen to Stockholm. A really, really fun journey, but perhaps not one I would do again. Now I kind of drive the car maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours max. Otherwise I'll kind of look at alternative options. Obviously if I don't have a choice then I'll take it. But I really, really enjoyed the trip. I was in Stockholm for around 6-7 months with the car. I drove up to Åre, which is 10 hours north of Stockholm, for a really cool kind of skiing video. Which was absolutely fantastic. So like doing like backflips, like hand drags over the car. If you don't know, I'm a really big fan of extreme sports. So linking cars and extreme sports is something that I love to do. Then car got shipped back to London when I moved back there. I decided to ship it that time instead of driving it. I think that was the better way to do it. And then it's been in London with me ever since. So really, really love the car. Now I haven't had the kind of funds to do the things I wanted to do to the car. So 3 years of ownership, it's been absolutely perfect ever since. So I'm really, really lucky with the car. Touch wood, no major issues. But recently I took it in for its MOT and it failed its MOT. So let's talk about that. Okay, so we're on the next leg and the same day, and the sun has decided to come out. So I am stood at this beautiful house in the countryside of Oxford. I will put a link to it somewhere on the screen now. It's absolutely amazing. The owner, or one of the groundskeepers of the house, has just come over and talked about his Land Rover and the 3 that they have here on the land. And I think that's one of the fantastic things about Land Rovers, is that you know, they kind of bring people together, which is absolutely fantastic, which is obviously why I have my Land Rover club as well. But we are here to talk about what I had done on my MOT and my MOT failure. So I'm going to take you around the car and we'll go over what exactly happened. Unobstructed, then we have the car then by this house, and we also have some little some watcher honors and the like here stood. One's, look, he's dancing up on, or he is she. Let's get over to the car. Okay, so took the car in for a routine MOT and it failed. I had my first MOT failure, I think, ever in my life. So I was a bit surprised, but I'm actually really happy. And I was just saying to the chap there, we were talking about it, I'm actually really happy about the MOT process, because I don't want to be driving this car if anything is wrong, and I wanted to get it fixed immediately. So I put a message out in my Land Rover group asking if anybody owned a garage or knew somewhere where I could get this sorted. And of course, being the amazing community that my Land Rover group is, someone could help me out. So I took it there. Now the things that needed solving were my headlights. If you know, for the longest time, one of the headlights had a crack in it and only half or even a quarter of the halo was working. So I have brand new YPAC halo lights, and let me tell you, they are absolutely incredible compared to the old ones. In the dark, they absolutely brighten it up, and it's just been a massive difference. I'm really glad I got that sorted. And how good does it look here with those halo lights? I also got white side lights as well. They were kind of orange before, so I got those as well. Now that was a kind of a minor failure, but it was needed to be replaced, so I decided to go ahead and get those done anyway. Just on the cosmetic things, again, not a failure, but I had the wing mirror struts replaced as well, so they're now fully black, brand new, and again are just making the car look that bit more fantastic. There's more to do on the cosmetics, but we'll go over that in a little bit. So another one of the failures under here was the steering arm. Now I don't know whether you can see that under there, but it looks kind of brand new, and that's because it is. So yeah, the steering arm was replaced, which is great. Okay, so moving round to the back, the other failure was the shock bushes. Now I can't get in there under there and see everything, but the rear right shock bushes had failed, so they have been replaced. Again, I'm really happy to have those fixed, and the ride quality is much better, believe it or not, and also the steering is much better because of that replacement on the front. So again, fantastically happy there. The other failure, which had happened recently, and I don't know why, was the left door handle was only working some of the time. So it would always work from the inside, but it would only sometimes work from the outside. So that has been replaced and is now working perfectly. And the only other thing that I had done was the fuel cap. So I had just a temporary fuel cap in there, but now I have a locking one, and also it has this kind of strut, so I don't leave it at a petrol station again. I left one at a petrol station 3 times. It will never happen again. So those were the things that had to be fixed on the MOT, and those are the things that I had fixed, and now the car is working really well. Now I've had everything fixed on the car and it's working immaculately now. Now we can go on to the upgrades and the things that I'm going to be doing next in part 2. So part 2 of the car, there's 2 things that I want to get done. I'm not sure which is going to be done first, but the first thing is I want to underseal the car, so completely regenerate, go to brand new on the inside, on the underneath of the car. So I have someone lined up to do that, so we're going to be getting that done soon, and I just want it to look absolutely perfect, because I'm going to show you a few places where it's looking a little bit worse for wear, but again, nowhere near as bad as some Defenders that I've seen. We're coming on to the front then. You can see under here, if I just brighten everything up a little bit for you. So it's looking all right, so not too much rust here. However, the front mud guards have come off, so they need replacing, but luckily that's super easy to do. And if we're coming under the underneath, you can see it under here. So again, I've been driving in the rain now, so it's been, you know, it's not in clean, shall we say, but it's not the end of the world. But again, I just wanted to get this thing looking absolutely brand new, and to ensure it's going to be absolutely perfect going forward. Another area that needs some attention is the back. So you can see on the number plate, on the mud guards here, kind of it's going rusty on the sides, and there's some little bits of rust starting here. Again, underneath, it's not too bad. Could be a lot worse. So it's actually, you know, it's not the end of the world, but as I mentioned, I just want to get this thing absolutely looking top notch and perfect, so it can just be enjoyed going forward. There's some things I want to do with it, some road trips I want to go on it with it, so I'm really keen just to get this thing looking absolutely tip top. Okay, so moving on then, the next thing that I want to do to the car is I want to soundproof it, soundproof the whole interior. Now I can't really show you that because you know, because it's something that's not exactly seen, but I want to soundproof the whole interior of the car so it's much more palatable on long road trips, and I guess that hints of some of the things that I want to do with it going forward. So really want to soundproof the car, a new speaker system inside, so it's much better on long journeys. Okay, so that is 3 years of ownership with this amazing car. I call this car Chester. I call the car Chester because that's my favourite dog when I was a child, who passed away just after I bought this car, actually. So I named the car after Chester, so he's forever with me. So I'm going to be keeping this car for an exceptionally long time. So 3 years of ownership has been absolutely fantastic. Now the MOT failed, but it's now working better than ever before, and the upgrades have started. So I can't wait for you to carry on this journey with me of upgrading this 2010 Defender XS up until the masterpiece that it's going to be. So follow along on this series, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.